to work impact the way that you coach?
Well, I think that's who I am, in my core. Adversity and overcoming obstacles is kind of who I have been growing up and definitely in my playing career. So, I've kind of touched every role as a player and even as a coach so far. And so I've been in a lot of different situations where I can, somewhat understand what the players are going through. They respect that honesty for me, but there's only one way I know how to be, and that's straightforward. And I think these young guys will respect that. But to your point, dealing with what I did this year, I think my playing career and things I've been through in the past definitely helped in that situation.
Ime, did you know Rafael or Tilman before this process? And I suppose regardless, what is it about your partnership with these guys that potentially sticks out to you as far as what you can do in the future and why this was the right opportunity for you?
I didn't know them specifically well at all other than in passing. Obviously being in San Antonio for 2.5 years as a player and 7 as a coach, we've had a ton of playoff matchups and series with these guys. So cross paths for sure. Didn't know them personally well, but I think I like the tight knit group that we have. These two, Patrick, Eli, and some others that I've met, we really clicked pretty quickly. And I just like that intimate group that we're all on the same page as far as what we're trying to accomplish and the steps that Tilman mentioned. So that was very attractive to me. Like I said, it always comes down to the players, but getting to know these guys has been great as well.
First of all, welcome to Houston, Coach. When you took over the job in Boston, you had 5 players that had 34 years of NBA experience. Coming here, you have the 11 core players who only have a combined 23 years. What is your developmental plan for these young players?
Just trying to expedite the process of becoming professionals. I think, they heard me say it in the players. One of my first messages would be youth is not an excuse. And so across the board, I think, whether it's making the same mistakes, not making the right defensive assignments, or shot selection, all that stuff has to be addressed, but also improved on. And so understanding that we're going to take some lumps with our age and our youth, but my message to them will be that's not an excuse. We've been in the league, we've been taught, and that's my job to teach them and expedite that process. So understanding that, having some patience with that, just like I had to do in Boston. Had to change some habits there as well. These guys were more of a veteran group, guys who've been around, but it's no different from anywhere else. So look forward to doing that here.
Hi, this is Michelle from Radio.